All right, I call this meeting to order. Please rise. Sam, would you have our prayer?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to give you honor, glory, and praise. And once again, thank you for your love and mercy, grace, and new. Lord, we just thank you for everything, for your many blessings. Please guide us, lead us by your Spirit, Father God, so we just come together as a community in the county. Just please remember all the employees that are sick and ailing. Stan Frank, Jack White, Amy Meyer, Charlie Howell's wife, Robin, Matt Miller's wife, Katie, and just all those are sick and ailing, Lord. Put your healing hand upon them. Please forgive us for we fail you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you have not already done so, please sign in. All right, council, you have in front of you the minutes. Please take just a few minutes. Hopefully you've looked over them before you got here, but just take a few minutes and look them over. Give that to Nick.
Thank you.
So Beth, was there any additional changes or corrections to what we? Okay.
No, I looked over, the only thing that I said that kind of the verbiage with what we did with the highway department was a little confusing, but it wasn't anything to change. I mean, it's.
And then I looked back at the notes. I did not see where we approved minutes for the December 19th meeting. So
no.
those are still kind of outstanding? Okay. All right.
Did we not have those?
It would have been fairly simple and short, but I don't recall.
Oh, yeah, right there, yeah, sorry.
So does someone want to make a motion to approve minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Motion made by Daniel. Is there a second? Seconded by Verl. Any questions? All those in favor? Motion carried. All right, on to monthly financial reports. Sheila.
Have your copies of your scheduled balances in front of you. Pretty much they're the same. We haven't received one of the monthly lists so far, but the balances kind of where they are at and transitioning. I have today, and hopefully by tomorrow, we'll get done $417,000 in balances. $417,000 worth of encumbrances. And I still have about 20 departments to go as far as payroll goes. So it's going to dwindle down on those balances. You'll see those when it comes through. I'll email you all a list when I'm completely done so you can see which departments. There's only been 4 transfers. Most of them again are just encumbering 2025 bills. So finished up with the budgets. One of the changes tonight will be the addition to the 4906 fund, the jail fund, that'll come up in a couple minutes in your budget. That was one of the additions that was added after budgets were submitted to the state. We do have all of the corrections for the ones that were turned in. Ryan had submitted numbers at the end of the last meeting, and we had to adjust those a little bit, but they still got done. We're still on par for those, so the budgets all match the original amount that we were given at the last meeting as well. It was your blue sheet, and we match pretty much to the penny, don't we, Anton? We're still at $21,386,165 minus the $1,700 that will be added in a few tonight. So, and that budget is actually lower than two of the last 3 years of budgets. So we did come in under budget or cut, and we're still able to give raises. So that was a good outcome.
So, question. We spoke earlier about a resolution for taking the earmarks that were in Fund 1170 for the 24 and 25 budget years for the jail project. We were going to have that total, which is $630,000, moved to Fund 9181. And I know that the balance doesn't reflect that. And I know we haven't seen a resolution. So what do we need to do there to get that part?
The attorney to get the resolution.
Okay.
To move any funds that goes in, again, that road project fund needs to be your major fund that they're operating out of throughout. The $600,000, again, was what had been approved to appropriate out of the edit fund 1112, and that was that portion of it until we can get, again, the resolution done. Can I please email the attorney?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
No way.
That's all I had.
I have also included in your packet all of the claims to date when the packets were moved out, just so that you can see what's being paid or what the commissioners are approving in their minutes as far as claims go. Feel free to ask if you've got questions, email anytime. There's quite a bit, again, a lot of these are the encumbrances that I've been doing as well.
I think these are excellent. I appreciate you printing these out because kind of keeps us finger on the pulse on what's going on. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but the $21,855 to the Monroe County Highway Department, is that for the bridge on County Line? That's kind of what I figured. And that's much nicer. You don't feel like you're going to ramp your car over. Anything else? Okay. All right, moving on to old business, jail project review. We had a jail committee meeting. Yeah. Well, we're glad you could make it. We're just getting ready to talk about the jail project review. We had a jail committee meeting. Was that Thursday? Friday. There's a lot of unknowns right now. I emailed all of you so everybody look at their emails, kind of updating you on what's being discussed. But right now, everything's on hold until the legislative session is finished. Kind of need to know what's going to be decided, to see how to proceed. So that's kind of where we are right now. Anybody want to add anything else?
The price keeps going up.
Yeah, everything's not getting cheaper, is it? All right, moving on to the public hearing for additional appropriations. I hereby open the public hearing. All right, that should be in front of you.
It's this one.
Yeah. These were the amounts that were advertised. Let's see, for the Riverboat Fund, the cash, $33,536 to election registration. Let's see. And the $600,000 for the road projects. Is there, does the public have any questions, any input? These were basically where we were cutting our budget, especially like with the clerk's office. We needed to be able to fund her budget and the highway department as well. Oh,
That 600,000 was the difference or less than what the highway was given in their 1176 fund. However, we can't move that into the payroll, which was the majority of what was cut out of there in that 600,000. So this is a way to allow them to continue using it for the road projects and it's allowable.
So when our action is done this evening, that budget will have these line items in them, so we can track that. But of the 600,000, it's not specifically limited to one type of expense. It could be aggregate, it could be staff, fuel, that kind of thing? Or is there, what's the plan? You're shaking your head, Commissioner. What's the plan on it?
We don't know yet. I mean, it could be used for aggregate, additional employees, culverts and stuff like that, it could be used for anything.
Okay, so it is flexible.
Yes.
Will we have some kind of a report or some regular breakdown then? Because if we only have one line item and it's 600,000 and it's for road projects, how are we gonna be able to know if 100,000 of that ended up being payroll, 50,000 ended up being fuel? You know, people are gonna wonder, how are we accounting for that $600,000 and what's the plan to?
I'll probably just do a spreadsheet with it and keep track of it separately.
Okay, okay. That would be good to have on a regular basis, I would think, just to know
That would be
and be
great.
aware of what's going on with that. Because normally it'd be in our regular budget, and we've got all the line items for that. But here, I just hate to see it too generic and not know what it's going for.
It'll be itemized out.
Okay, okay.
Are there any other questions council has on the additional appropriations? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Motion made by Joe to accept them as advertised. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Daniel. All those in favor? Motion carried. I hereby close the public hearing. Okay, on to new business. Additional appropriation, the new requests. Commissioners, jail housing, and 911.
Let's do jail housing first if we can. That's the.
Yeah, that's the easy one.
This one's fairly easy. We had, in the time period of submitting the numbers to the state for the budget and our double checking on salary figures, there was a technical error. It wasn't huge, but we needed to make sure that gets accounted for so it brings it up to the correct amount. We already approved the correct pay amount. That's not unusual. But the total dollars we needed in that budget were off slightly, to the tune of $1,700. So this will allow us to match up the total and follow through on what we approved for the wage.
Does anyone want to make a motion to advertise the $1,736?
I'll move it.
Motion made by Daniel. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Anton. Any questions on this? All those in favor? Motion carried. Okay, moving on.
I gave you copies of the 911 contract. Again, this went to the commissioners. They approved it. It was effective January the 1st. Just needed council appropriation. It's a 6-month agreement for $25,000. It was original conversation. They were going to also do the radio project, but they're going to put that part of it on hold. So now it's just the 6 months for an additional $25,000 to keep Dave Costin. And that's, you guys have copies.
So, on the contract, the second paragraph says, whereas the county has a need for a consultant to facilitate the hiring and training of a new 911 communications director. So, that is probably a holdover from the original contract. So, is that actually needed in this newer contract, or why was that provision maybe not stricken?
Probably was just missed, yeah, it was 4 o'clock, it was after.
Okay. So it's definitely, unless I know something, we know something we're not aware of, I don't know,
I
but.
sent a copy of the old one, I amended it, but I probably missed it.
Okay, so that's definitely off the table, we're not worried about that, because you're doing an outstanding job, by the way. We appreciate your service. So that part's not really a part of this, but the scope of services, the A through D, that's all good, except it does refer to the county radio system. So, and Sheila, you said that's not going to be a part of this, correct?
No, that was an additional $25,000 later on when the radio project comes back together.
He is still helping us with that, we're still talking to the person that's putting it in, and he's a wealth of information when it comes to that, so. He's
Yeah.
helping, but again, it's gonna be, June or so before it is up and going, so.
Yeah, and that was my next question, June being kind of the end date of this contract, what was the reasoning behind that? And the answer is, you're trying to get him up to that point of the radio project. So he still will have some radio project stuff here. Okay. I just didn't want to have a dollar amount associated with a contract where the scope is different, significantly different. Okay.
You will definitely advertise it as a radio project. Those at this moment, not speaking for Texas.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Still agree with that.
Is it looking like June will be the end of us needing the services?
So, I mean,
It's gonna depend depends on the radio project. I don't know how far we're gonna be with that, but he's the one that put Putnam counties together, and he's helped us a lot with the questions and what we need to know with the radios and what radios to buy and how we're gonna program these.
Is he essentially taking over a lot of the work Chris was doing?
Yeah, yeah, ton. Yeah, he's helped out Chris a bunch. Chris was, highly involved in this. They cost us, does a phenomenal job. We know it's expensive, but the wealth of knowledge this guy has, like a second to none.
So is this, is this 25,000, is the majority of that's going to be going to him helping you with 911, not with him doing the radio project?
Right, but he does have a lot of input in the radio. He is still helping us with the hardware and software. We're still getting that going. A lot of training still to do with that. So, but he's helping us understand what we need for the radio project, and a lot of that I'll be programming the radios, so this will be something completely new to me. So here, a lot of the talk, I'm like, I don't know what that is because I've never done the radios before. He's right there going, this is what this means.
So of the $25,000 total for the contract, just rough math, how much of that would you say may be radio project?
I honestly wouldn't know. We talk about it in our meetings. The 911 board talked a lot about it today. We're supposed to be meeting with the radio guy again. I don't know if Dave will go to that or not, but I know they have him coming here to meet with them. But right now, I keep him in. He's doing all of the Mavis, the alarm boxes for the fire department. That's what he's working on right now, and a lot of that he can do at home. He can type all that up and then bring it and input it into the computer. And that's what he's working on right at this moment for dispatch.
Okay. For your benefit though, and your department,
Oh, yeah.
because the appropriation request is from Fund 1235, which is, so we're taking the money from your fund, but, and maybe the radio part's just incidental in this discussion, but what I'm getting at is I'd hate for us to take money out of dispatch.
Oh, no, he's still helping a lot.
Okay.
We have the Mavis boxes to do. He has to map those out, and again, we have to get with the mapping department so that it works with our system. So,
Okay.
He is a big, several times a day, I'll call him and text him, so.
Well, if there is to be a significant amount of radio related in this, I'd prefer the money come out of the radio project part, and not 911. But if you think it's incidental enough,
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do quite a bit, so.
okay.
Has A&E got you your request yet?
I paid for them, but I've not gotten it.
What's that? What's the question?
She's had requests into A&E since, I believe, November,
We're gonna deal with AME.
and they've had, again, they were in the group meeting that we had, they were told to get it to them immediately. And again, she's been billed for it, but still doesn't have it.
Yes.
Did Justin ever get back with you on that? Did Justin ever get back with you on that? There was a breakdown somewhere on their side.
They were to get with her immediately, and again, she had the bills, and so.
We don't pay them.
Norm, have you gotten anything from them?
The last communication we had with them was I told them to get her taken care of, that hasn't happened. And that was when we had the meeting here.
Well, I'm going to make a motion that we advertise for appropriation the $25,000 out of Fund 1235 for the consultant contract.
Motion made by Anton, is there a
I'll second
second?
that.
Second by Steve. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Motion carried.
And one related but not related question for our director. Another thing we had spoken with before was the bill you may have gotten for, it's been changed like 3 different companies.
yeah.
Lincoln Square, no, that's a restaurant. Central Square, it was Zerker, or whatever. Did that ever get resolved
I've never heard back from them.
from the company?
Right. I got the bill that was sent to me from the sheriff's department. It looks like most of it is sheriff's department stuff. I don't see any bill, anything in other bills that they've paid to Central Square that's been that massive through dispatch.
It was given to the sheriff's department, and I'm assuming it's one of the funds that had been paid, and I believe that was just given to, like, in the last week and a half or so.
So I think I received it in December or so. The sheriff's department forwarded it to me, but they didn't answer what it was for or anything, so I had no idea.
So it is still being researched. And I tell you, it's like deja vu, because we've talked about this for hours. It seems like every year. And I don't know why we're not getting it resolved, like why we keep.
When it first came out, we did a certain program, it's basically what the sheriff's office. That's the company, that's been years and years ago, and I know it's changed hands, maybe one, I don't know, I think it's just changed hands once. It's now Central Square. I don't know if anything has changed since then or not.
On the screen in front of you, you'll see the majority of them have been being paid out of the 1170 fund, which is the sheriff's department. And then the 1222 as well, but it doesn't be the major.
1222. So both funds have had some part of Central Square expenses. And in some notes I found from April of '24, we had taken action because there was a negative line item, I presume in 1170, and we paid for it then. And I had sheriff, 911, EMS, and prosecutor as potential users. Now, I don't know if that's the case now, or if that was accurate at the time, but there seemed to be some discussion about more than one department that had some part of that, and I don't know if that's true or not, but Chris, you're here, is there anything Central Square specific to EMS, or is it not?
No, if you guys recall, whenever Central Square was, the county was, the sheriff's department was looking for a new software, dispatch was in the sheriff's department at that time. So they bought the software, which was at that time Zerker.
Okay.
And now I think probably the rub, if there is a rub, because the sheriff paid for all of that because dispatch was part of that. Now that dispatch has moved out, I guess, I don't know if there's a way to break out how much of it's dispatch and how much of it's sheriff and law enforcement, but I think that's where the communication problem is coming in, is because some of it is dispatch related, but there's also much of it that's law
That
enforcement.
makes sense, yeah.
Kind of need an itemized bill to see.
So-
As far as what the EMS uses it for, is, we've got one, I don't know if you want to call it a license, but we've got it up on the screen in our hallway, so as we leave, we can look up and see what our run is going to be.
Oh, yes, I know what you're referring to there, yeah.
And then we're pushing towards putting computers in each one of our ambulances that would do the same. It would,
That'd be
as
nice.
dispatchers type in information into the software, it would show up on our computers as we're driving down the road. But it's really very heavy dispatch and law enforcement.
Okay, very helpful, yeah. So there you go. The sheriff and you can maybe review that and figure out what the breakdown is, and maybe the company can better provide invoices that match that, and then we'll know which fund to take what from. Because I think when we do our budget workshops, we probably want to make some adjustments.
Yeah, we want to make sure that's budgeted for.
Yeah, in the proper places, and make a note, so we don't have to talk about it again. So, okay. I just want to make sure we address that while you were here, so thank you.
But those are only 2 additional appropriation requests.
The commissioners, actually it's down there, and then Natasha is doing transfers from the correct. Transfers, yeah, I don't need it, yeah, that's all. Other than commission,
What's ours? I've lost my train of thought.
road project,
Well, that's on down the list, so.
I said.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. On down the list, Paul. We can talk about that if you want me to.
Well,
However you want to.
well, let's, so that's not additional appropriation request, that's just, we're just going to talk about the road project, right? Okay, so let's move on to,
Probation would be the only
Yeah.
one then next, right? Okay, and it's a transfer.
no, I saw that.
So there's a lot going on with probation. They originally, when she had sent her original request, it was reducing, and I'll let Anton talk about that, at full-time to part-time. So, and then Anton did the job description to match what she had been requesting, so that's why I didn't include, you now have a little short sheet in front of you, in your packets in front of you. It explains a little bit more. I'll let Anton explain and Natasha, the position changes and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so according to what Natasha had mentioned, she has a full-time probation officer that's essentially going to retire. However, they will be retained part-time. And there's no new position, it's just actually taking a full-time and changing the classification to part-time.
Okay.
So it'll actually save some money, which she
Good.
needs to save within her funds. And so she had a sheet that she calculated for you that identified the number of hours per year that the part-time would entail, the rate of pay, which is no different, and what fund that would be paid for by. There's also a payout for unused vacation, sick, and comp time per the policy whenever someone does change from like a full-time, or if they change from a non-exempt to an exempt, there usually is a payout that needs to be figured. I don't see a dollar amount for that, but,
I don't have it calculated yet, but it'll come out of my grant funding, so,
okay.
out of the DOC grant.
The 9149? Okay.
Just out of her payroll that was already appropriated for her.
Out of the line item?
Yep.
Okay, so that will take care of itself. And so do you anticipate between the reduction from full-time to part-time and the payout, do you think that by the end of the year, you're going to be good, to the good on that, or?
I have guesstimated that it will save around $10,000, not counting group insurance, so that would be actually $20,000
Okay.
in my budget, so out of the grant fund that we can appropriate somewhere else.
Okay. So as far as action tonight, I think she's wanting the transfers to occur.
And those are, actually, all of those transfers are different things. Those all have to do with like pretrial grant funding, my community transition program funds being moved.
Unrelated to this one. Okay.
Unrelated to this, yes.
They were kind of put together in the packet, so, okay. So as far as the position change, I think the council would need to entertain a motion then to vacate a full-time probation officer position and then add a part-time probation officer position at 1,352 hours per year.
Anybody want to make a motion? Motion made by Daniel, is there a second? Second by Burl.
That hourly rate, is that set by the state?
It is.
Yeah.
based on years of service and whatever else they come up with. The legislature actually sets it.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Those opposed?
Yeah, Mr. Stan,
Abstain.
6.
So then the final step is just the timing of it and letting the auditor's office know. Further down in the agenda, we have an updated job descriptions task there, and the updated part-time probation officer position is one of those. So when we get to that point in the agenda, we can approve that part of it, because we'll need that done. And then I'm going to make a motion, we transfer the following funds. So there's one of them out of pretrial, 9155 to project income 1122 for $5,000. And then the other four are out of the CTP fund, 1123, going to project income 1122. One of them is for 1,000, another for 818, another for 1199, and 10,698.94.
Okay, motion made to transfer these funds. Is there, okay, Nick? Any questions? All those in favor? Carried.
And the reasoning for the transfers this year, we will start any funds that are transferring wages from one fund to another will come before the council. Just so we can keep spreadsheets and where we're at and have a little bit better challenge. There are, I forgot to mention at the beginning, there are new budget rules that are getting ready to take effect, and your Form 1 will be due by June 30th this year. That is the form that you send out to all of the departments, and they put in their estimated request. There's training that'll come up. There's a couple different training classes. I will try to have the department heads on that as well as the council. We haven't received a date yet when our local training will be, but it'll also be online in a couple of places. But it's going to be challenging because we're not used to that deadline being that early because your budget hearings aren't until August. So it's going to be working with departments. Again, it's just an estimated Form 1 is what it's called to be doing, and there's other changes that'll come along that we'll pick back up in August as well. So if you start getting your budget request mid-June or so, it'll be definitely in your July packets, but I have to have them entered into the state by June 30th. So we'll get them to you as quick as we can.
Wow. When was the date before? And what did it used to be?
Just, they had them to us for your guys' budget hearings in August. There wasn't really a deadline date by the state, and now they want it by June 30th. I think everything is moving up a couple of months. Other things in our office and the assessors, those dates are moving from August to July as well. So I think they're just trying to get a little bit ahead of the budget process as well.
Okay, moving on to RDC appointment. The current appointment by council is myself and Hunter Stogstill. I've been told that Hunter would be glad to be reappointed if it's the mind of the council.
So we've got two to make,
Yes, we've
you
got,
and Hunter.
yes.
I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Polly Chesser and Hunter Stogstill to the Owen County Redevelopment Commission.
Motion made by Anton, seconded by Daniel. Any questions? All those in favor? Motion carried. Do we want to go ahead and add the Peterboa appointment then there, right there? Okay. We also need to make an appointment to the Peterboa Board because our appointment that we made last year, unbeknownst to us, declined it. So Jill Hudson here is expressed an interest. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself, Jill?
I've only lived in Owen County for 5.5 years. I don't know anybody. My background is in mortgage lending. I did mortgage and commercial lending for about 20 years in Bloomington and Illinois, Kentucky. But I'm interested to learn more about Owen County and government and how it works. So this is sticking my toe in the water to see if I like it or not, and if I don't, it's okay, and if I do, it's okay.
Any questions for her?
So we just have the one appointment to make?
It's a five-member board.
Okay.
The reason we put it off from last month was because we didn't know if it was going to be reduced down to a 3-member board, but they've decided to keep it at 5 members, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And so my understanding is what the commissioners had 2 appointments and we had 1 to make. Okay,
The assessor has the other 2?
I believe.
Okay.
What's the mind of the council?
Well, I make a motion.
Motion made by Steve, seconded by Daniel. All those in favor? Motion carried. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Good
and
luck.
thank you for it.
Get with the assessor and get him all of your information and so that he knows how to contact you and all that stuff. And then we'll get you added to our information in our office too.
So on the subject of boards and appointments, are there any others that we need to be doing or have on our radar? I don't know.
Do we have,
Just reaffirm our other appointments like Plan Commission, usually we do those at the beginning of the year. I don't think there's any need to change it, but should we just take some kind of action for the record tonight to just let our existing appointments continue for another
I
year
think that would
maybe?
be a good-
Wherever, whatever they may be and wherever they're at.
I think.
Because I think, Dan, you're on the Plan Commission.
Are you okay with that?
Brave.
Brave man.
Yeah.
So you just reaffirm your current, and then I'll get with Heather and we'll get the board members list and see who's on there and get you guys an email with who they all are.
Okay, because,
I do think the commissioners have to appoint somebody because we had one resign.
Ah,
So I
To
think,
the planning commission?
Yeah. yes,
We did have,
that's a doable thing, right?
yeah, oh, yeah.
Planning commission, BCA, so I think the commissioners do have one, they can handle that.
yeah, I think the audit, probably there isn't like a list or a spreadsheet somewhere from previous.
Get one created.
Yeah, and so just to update
Just to
that,
make sure we're on track.
the town of Spencer had an economic development commission that they had set up, and I think we had an appointment to that too.
We've not made one since I've been on the council.
Yeah, it would have been in the last couple years though, because it hadn't existed prior to that.
Okay.
I had Chris Connor as the member, and for whatever reason, I had a note that it expired at the end of '25. So I've not heard from the town. I don't know if that's still a thing or what, but
Send Cheryl an email tomorrow and see what they have.
yeah. But if it was Chris and he is good, and that needs to be kept that way, then we can do that. So,
Okay.
well, I'll make a motion that we, for all other boards and commissions that we have an appointment decision for, we will continue those through 26.
Motion made by Anton, is there a second? Second by Daniel. Any questions? All those in favor? Motion carried. All right. Commissioner Road Project Plan.
Well, it's gonna be an easy one. Real easy for you. No. You have before you the road plan, laid out the roads. I know we'll ask about this specifically at the last meeting. These are the roads that we had on slate, for CCMG, but of course, you know we didn't get no CCMG, right? Okay, so take the packet that you have in front of you, and I want you to take a pencil or an ink pen, whatever you got, and I want you to circle Tire Road on the first page, circle Tire Road. I want you to put an X beside Clark Road. I want you to put a circle around S-37-5E, second page.
What is that road?
Grove Cemetery Road, there in one hole. Put an X beside Sherfield. Put a star or a circle beside Minton Road.
Minton Road?
Minton Road.
On the page before, Commissioner Hobbs, there's a S75E at the bottom.
And then just say, oh yeah, put an X beside that, please, that's part of Sherfield. Circle Minton Road. Freedom Morning, there's 4 parts, circle all 4 parts of Freedom Morning. The last one, put an X beside State Ferry. So you have 7 roads that you have circled, okay?
What's 825?
What's that?
What's 825 south?
Where's that line?
Bottom.
Hang on. No. They got it all. Okay,
Does that road have a name?
what's the road name on 825 or Chad?
So that-
So look, the roads,
what was it?
roads that you have circled,
I'm so confused.
you have on your list. Tower Road. South 375 East. Minton Road. Freedom On, you're all 4 parts. If you look at those, you'll see down there on your sheet, let's just take the first page on Tower Road. CCMG requested funds is $182,991. If you take all 7 of those roads and add those up, you want to write this down because you're going to need this total. It's $903,030.20. With me so far? Your 20% match of that would be $180,606. That's 20% of that. We all good so far? I got off the phone with NDOT before I came here. Spoke to Kathy McCallum. She's the one that started CCMG. They're going to fund up to $903,030.20. They're going to fund those 7 roads
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
This
good
year?
news.
this year. Now,
Really?
here's the critical part. I just spoke to her for an hour and a half. She said, anybody wants to call her, I have to call her in the morning. They've got this money reserved for Owen County. If I don't call her in the morning, the money goes bye-bye.
You got a phone number?
We'll
Yes,
group
she does
call.
have a phone number, but,
I said, do you have it?
yeah. But the portion that we need from the county, now, this is our quotes, this will go out to bid. This is the quote from E&B, they got the smallest quote, this will go out to bid. NDOT is only gonna fund $903,030.20. That's their max. When we get our bid and it comes back lower than what's on here, then of course, it'll be a smaller amount. If it comes in higher, we're on our own. But what I need from the council tonight, and I'll beg and plead, give you my shoes if you want.
Come on up.
No.
Keep them on.
I need your commitment for the 20% of the $180,606 tonight. That would be your match anyway. We'll get this money tomorrow. She said as long as I call her
Great
in the
news.
morning and you're committed to this, they will fund this.
Wonder how that happened.
But now, I have a favor. Tell me out if you want to, but I have a favor, and I'm gonna ask on behalf of the commissioners, Chad, and the lead and the staff. We have $396,127 that you have already committed. It's tied up, okay? I ask you, please, to leave that money into our road fund project. Commit the $180,000 tonight. You've already committed the $396,127. Tonight you'll have to commit $180,606. Leave that $396,000 in our road project, because since NDOT said they'll do this, we have a massive amounts of culverts and ditches that's gonna have to be put in. I ask you, please leave that $390, I just call it $400,000. Appropriate the $180,606 for the match, and we can move on. And I'll call her in the morning and tell her. But she said the money is right now. She called me. She said, Sam, we've been in constant contact for a long time. We're gonna hold this until you call me tomorrow. If you don't call me in the morning, we're gonna give it to another county.
So we already have budgeted for a match in the lit edit for $250,000.
Yes, you have.
So you're already good to go. That's what that's for. We just were lucky enough to get a second chance, because otherwise we weren't gonna need it this year or use it. Is that correct?
That is
Because the
correct.
original app was not approved. So it's already budgeted, there's no decision on appropriations, it's ready to commit.
But then, with that being said, please commit. You're gonna take $180,000 out of that $250,000. I'm asking you, please, commit at least that another $180,000 or $200,000 back into the road fund project, because the work is gonna.
Oh, yes, you're talking the unused part of that line item?
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Can you?
I would say so.
Or if you wanna give us more.
Yeah.
Praise God.
If it comes back higher, we may need that.
I mean, I will say this, and let me, if you, I don't know how much you want to commit. I'm thankful that NDOT called today and said they're going to fund up to $903,000. That was just a blessing right there.
That is good.
I have just a question on the CCMG. Gross Cemetery Road, that's off 43, kind of across from Mark Decker's. How does that road get put into any realm of priority?
Because it was a paved road. CCMG is only for paved roads. It was a paved road. at one time.
Back to the cemetery, yes.
Back to that cemetery.
Is that road really rough?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's so, Anton, I knew you was gonna say that about that 200. So I'm gonna,
Whatever the difference is, yeah, I mean, there's a no-brainer. I mean, that's reserved, if we did not get the Community Crossings grant, which originally we didn't, that 250 was sitting there ready to spend for some kind of road projects anyway. That's money that is committed, whether it's the match or not. And you're lucky, thank you, to get a second chance on that grant. 180 of it is going to be needed for that purpose, but the difference is still available to you.
okay, but.
Right.
So,
That 70 could also go if the quotes come in higher as well.
yeah.
Oh, that's true, that it might be higher, but,
So that money's already committed, so really it's not, you're just going to appropriate or have you just do it the 180,000 for the match.
that's already done.
That's already done. So I'm gonna ask a favor. Probably tell me no, I'm gonna ask.
Lots of favors.
Just tell me what you can give me of this, what I'm going to ask. I need $371,000 above what we're talking about.
And that's independent of the,
This is
this
not-
commitment, right?
This is not, yeah, this is independent.
To be honest, I would really want to see a proposal or something in writing for,
We have it right here, the two roads, Clark Road and Sherfield Road was took off this list. If we added those two back together, I need $307,258. They're on your list, so you just put an X beside those. And when you go to look at those price tags, don't look at the CCMG month number, look at the construction cost. Those are not CCMG.
Sam, the roads that would not get paved this year, would they be on the list for 27?
The roads are not going to be paved.
Yeah, the roads that were in the CCMG that would not get paved?
Yeah, some of them will get paved this year, right, Chad? Then some of them will get paved next year. We have it till the end of 2027. But if you look at Clark Road and Sherfield Road, those two amounts on there, if you add $370, $370,250, we can pave those two roads as well.
now you were talking also needing resources for pre-construction work.
Yeah, we got.
Is that part already secured and figured in?
You know, I think that's in our actual budget that we have, I think that.
Okay, that's not an additional.
No, that's not additional. I
Okay.
just need this amount of
Okay.
money to get those two roads paved as well. It's not CCMG, it's a totally different thing, but.
What happened is we had a list of roads for CCMG. Quotes came in, we had to cut a few roads to make it fit.
Right.
So that's the two that were cut.
So if, just hypothetical here, say that the money was not given, the 371, would Sherfield and Clark Road be at the front of the list for 27 for CCMG?
That's up to
It's up to us. The Sherfield Road has been put off for 11 years. When they paved it, they paved both ends of Sherfield Road, the hills, and that's it, they didn't pave the center. So,
Okay, I was wondering what you were talking about, because it is paved there, but as soon as you make the turn, it changes
that,
and drops down.
that 3/4 of a mile there, Steve,
Yeah.
is not paved. They didn't pave it.
By Eagle Crest and all that?
Yeah, from Eagle
Yeah.
Crest,
Eagle Crest all the way around Headings, before you drop down the big hill. And that's
Yeah.
hurt.
it's,
And right there by Plywood King.
they didn't pave it. Why they didn't? I don't
And
know
the,
anything.
and the drainage is non-existent in that one section that I
So,
can picture in my mind.
if I need to throw mercy upon
You
them,
know.
I think we got a good deal. A blessing from NDOT called before I came and said that they'll fund up to $903,000. If you just can find a way to fund $371,000, we'll pay 2 more roads.
I got a question. They've talked about having a second round of CCMG. I mean, would this take the place of that, or would we also have an opportunity to,
Or the round come up in July,
okay?
427.
yes.
Yeah.
And I did talk to her today, and they are gonna talk to Chad about this, talk to the map and other. First of all, I want to thank the other two commissioners, they've been right on top of this, along with Chad, Benita, the whole staff, so it's not just me, this guy's got the mouth. But we are gonna fix the maps. The mapping is critical. Talked to Kathy about that again today, we will get the maps fixed this year, so we won't miss anything.
Is the mapping gonna require any additional funding?
No, it's just gonna be a work day, a work session, may take us a couple days, sit down with commissioners, Chad, Benita, and the mapper to make sure we're all on the same page. 375 may turn into Jones Road, which may turn back into 125, so our maps don't line up with NDOT's maps. They should, leave it at that. They don't, we're gonna get that corrected, so we don't miss out on anything. It's happened in the past, but if you just could come up with the 371 tonight, I'll bring donuts or something.
That include, was that 70,000 left over from the 250 deducted out of that?
It'd be part of that cost.
Well, we had 250 minus 180 for our
70.
match,
Yeah,
so it'd be 70 left over.
I think the intent was to use that to do the ditches, culverts, all that, on all these 5 roads.
You have to understand before, and I'm not shutting nothing, nobody. But before, I don't think we did the culverts and the ditching didn't take place like it should have. We missed a lot of culverts, is that correct, Chad?
The paper just went out wherever the road was, it might have got burned.
Ponderosa Road's already breaking up
See,
where it doesn't rain.
that's not what we're doing with this. We're ditching, putting culverts in before they get paved. We've said that 100 times in the meetings. But this additional 371 will get these 2 roads paved. They've just been overlooked. Sure, the road's been just, no study there.
Sam, I'm trying to look for money here, so, in the dark, on the paver and the distributor truck,
Yes,
has that sold?
not yet, but the paver is the distributor truck hasn't been sold. The paver, we're waiting on, them to send us a check. And here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do for you. You commit to 371 tonight. If we get something from here over here and stuff like that, I'll get back to you.
Well, what are you anticipating on the paver?
I'm not quick, I don't know.
Did we send it to Caterpillar to get Bob?
I think it's 200.
But,
It's either 200 or
but
225.
Joe, let me rescind that before I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. I probably did. No, I'm gonna rescind.
I'm this
that.
close to making a motion to postpone this, and here's why. Here's why. I think it's bad practice to be negotiating over the table with something we've just been handed. I get the fantastic work you did on this second chance on community crossings. You already can do it, it's already budgeted, there's no complaint, perfect. There is extra available automatically for you to work towards the next set of projects, which is great. But I think that discussion should probably occur at our next meeting. I think you should take a breath, get this resolved and committed. Let's get NDOT to put it in writing, commit to this. Let's have a chance to sort through the rest of the details on the next 2 roads for our March meeting and figure out if that's something we want to do, how much that's going to cost. Because Commissioner Warner already contradicted something that you had said earlier about the 70,000 difference and using that for prep. You said earlier that prep was going to come out of existing funds, and Commissioner Warner said that this, we need to work through, some of those questions before I feel comfortable approving anything or taking action on it. Nothing against, not that we wouldn't do it. I think it's a great idea. I just
gonna need to
think,
wrap our head around it a
I
little
think we
bit
need to
more.
slow this down just a step here and approach this with level heads.
Well, and I agree with you, but I also agree with you that taxpayers are only looking for their roads to be fixed, their safety and their police, so it's something that we should really give
Yeah.
forward to make
And
sure
we're not
that.
saying we won't, we
Yeah,
just need a
but I do
little bit of
understand
time
that,
to-
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's pretty good at throwing stuff out and catching us off guard.
It's taxpayers' money.
But I agree, that's why I agree with you. I
Chad,
think it all needs to go to
Chad.
As
them.
long as we can get an answer before the bids go out,
Okay.
because adding those 2 roads, but having all those others, your prices are gonna go way down.
Okay.
Can you put them out to bid so we know the perfect number of what that road's gonna cost? Because you can bid a road without guaranteeing money for it.
Well, can we bid
them
them
Oh,
and
that's
then
a
have
good
an
point.
option to add, or bid these roads and add these 2 with a separate?
I have to have.
Two
it
separate
submitted.
issues. The roads that are going out for bid on the CCMG is the 7 roads that you circled.
Right.
That's it.
Yep, correct.
But what I was saying is if
If you can add
we
those
could get a
in.
commitment on it before we do that, and put all those roads together, your prices are gonna go down from the paving companies, but they're not gonna have as much mobilization, demobilization as are already here.
Yeah.
If you
Equipment's
could,
already-
yeah, if you could just add what those 2 roads would cost.
But you can have them quote that now.
Yeah.
Quotes.
So that's the extra 371,000 that you're asking for commitment
They're in
from.
the quotes now, yeah.
If you look on your screen in the 1173 fund, they have $1,190,000 in there. You could do an additional appropriation out of that fund, not out of your lit money. And this particular fund is only allowed for the projects and those things, which would also pay for salaries toward the road projects. The flip part of it is you've got to make sure we're watching those cash balances.
Yeah, I'm not-
The June 30th cash
I'd wanna think
balance,
about that more, but-
1176 is important, but again, we have $1 million in 1173 that you could commit the second 371,000 that he's asking.
When are you planning on putting it out for bid?
But once we get the commitment from the state, the CCMG, then that bid process, it'll have to come from them.
Tomorrow,
So are we okay then to, let's regroup in March? Are we okay timing wise or?
I mean, you know me, I'm gonna be devil's advocate, I don't, to me, there's nothing to regroup on. You got the 2 numbers, Clark Road and Sherfield Road in front of you, but it's there. And you don't understand, I mean, we talk about the payer and all that stuff. The thing that we're up against in the taxpayers, because we get phone calls about the roads, is that the taxpayers deserve the best we can give them. Because, to be honest with you, taxpayers have been neglected on the roads. It's no secret. Everybody sitting up there knows it. So we're trying to get a commitment to fix as many roads as we possibly can, knowing that we can do it with the money that we have.
We just need to make sure that this is going to be, fund the budget that goes along with these
Yeah.
as well.
I think we owe it to the taxpayers equally to be accountable for the money, make sure we have the plan, make sure we're not making quick decisions. I think we've thrown a lot of stuff around here about this other money, which truly is an additional expense. It's not something all out of existing money that we've budgeted for. We're going to have to think about our cash balances. We're going to have to think about what Sheila mentioned with 1176 or 73? 76.
I think we're all in favor of it, it's just.
Yeah,
where we're gonna get the money
I just
from.
think we need to sort out the rest of the
We
details.
just don't want to overextend ourselves like we
Correct.
did before.
Correct.
So,
The thing,
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, the thing with CCNG is once they say, here's your money, we're off where our time is ticking. They only give us so much time to get those bids out and back to them.
And that's already set.
So,
Yeah, that's
Nothing is
but
that,
I
yeah.
understand that,
Yeah.
but what he's saying is,
It would be a separate bid package.
then you have to do a separate bid packet. If you guys approve next month 371, then we have to do a separate bid packet to the same contractors, and then those bids are those costs are gonna be higher because we're not grouping them all together. We're doing 2 separate bids instead of doing it to one bid, saying here's our CCMG roads, and then we've also got these 2 roads that are not CCMG, but we're gonna give the bids out to everybody, and the
Why can't you do that right off the bat together?
Because-
Why can't we add those 2 roads and say, we're looking at doing these 2 while you're in the county? Why can't you do it?
Because if you guys come back next month and say not, then they might want to refigure their CCMG account budget to us.
But if you do that in
And
the bid
then-
pack and just say, this is an optional and it's not been decided yet, so factor that in, like, as opposed to having to do another bid pack, does that make sense? Am I wrong there?
Well, the CCMG's gotta be set just as CCMG.
Yes.
Right.
What I was saying is I put in another Indiana work bid at the same time for those 2 roads to get a better price.
Well, I think so we got 7 roads for CCMG, and we can bid it as CCMG money, and 2 optional roads that will be funded by the county, should it all come in
I
at
can
just
try to
right.
get the bids on
That'd probably be the way, because that way they know, we're gonna keep our price the same as long as you do that. And if you don't do it, then, well, you've already got the list here that they're gonna go back, and you're pulling, what, 5, 6 roads from them, so the bid's probably gonna change anyway.
I would say so.
We'll try.
But I would try that, because we do that all the time, you know. It's the carrot on the stick is what it is, and they know that, and so
Yeah.
they don't usually change, but because they know what a carrot is.
I can do
I think, especially if we've got the money to.
But I think I want to fund it, I do, I want to help the taxpayers, I want all the money going to the roads and the cops, and Chris and the fire department. I want it all out here.
Need a second on that.
You gotta fund the road so Chris can do his job.
That's
Well, thank you for everybody that touched this.
That's
I
great
think
news.
it's good news.
That's excellent
great
news. Excellent
So the
news.
summary is they're using out of the list current 250,000
Mhm.
money. There'll be 70,000
That's already
left
been-
over
Yep.
estimated that can go toward whatever. You're gonna do an option to add 2 additional roads when you do your bid packets.
Yep.
And the $146,127 is going in the road project, that was already, because that is the leftover from this year, that, because it came in under.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Disagree to disagree.
I mean, I'm just re-saying everything they said.
I
I'm just-
So was there unused for last year?
The 146, 127
Yeah.
is the difference in the crossings match grant versus what came in. That was what was left out of.
That we didn't spend?
Remember, you budgeted
Okay.
500,000
Okay.
last year. It didn't come in, they didn't get the full amount, so there's 146,127 that was left over that you guys committed to in your January meeting, I believe it was, that to allow that to move to the road project fund.
Okay. Is that the same number you're thinking, Commissioner Hobbs, or what's the disagreement there?
Yeah, no, that's it, you add that 250.
It is correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay. You said 146?
146, 127.
Okay.
Yes.
About the, that's another question that keeps going through my mind, the PTA BOA, did someone say that the assessor appoints the next person?
No, that's not, I mean, we said that, but I found out that that's not correct. But we do, I have been told, we do have one more appointment we need to make there, because Bill Purcell was on Peterboa and is no longer, so we've got one more appointment to Peterboa that we need to make.
Okay, so we do have 2.
Yeah,
Okay. So 2 from us,
2 from the commissioner.
2 from the commissioner, and 1 from the assessor?
Is it just
Or-
one from the assessor?
I
I know it's 2 from the council, but at least
Yeah.
that's what the assessor said.
So it's
the
2
commissioner.
I thought it was 3 from the commissioners, 2
Two
from the council,
council.
and then 1 other additional appointment that is like late.
And then that'd be 6.
Well, that'd be 6.
There's only
We
5.
have an ex officio member.
Oh, okay.
RDC.
Well,
Right, we're
yeah,
talking
with the
Peterborough.
RDC we do, but
Right. Peterborough.
I thought I had in your packets a copy of.
the RDC, yeah. Yeah, we just added Peterborough. But we do need to make another Peterborough appointment.
So Bill's not willing to,
Well, he was on the planning commission and the Peterborough, and he was not really supposed to be on both.
okay.
Is he he's still on the planning commission,
He's the
correct?
president.
Yeah, so we need to put a different
Okay.
person on the Peterborough board.
Got it.
They have enough to call a meeting and have a quorum if you guys.
Right, because we need to come up with another person that is interested in being in the Peterborough board. Does anybody have anybody in mind that would be interested? I've got a couple people that might, but, I mean, I have talked to them, but they would be qualified. Do we want to put that off till next month? I mean, there's still enough.
Verify that they want to do it.
Yeah, there's enough.
I'd talk to your people that you got in mind and see if they're interested.
Yeah. So, but we do need to make another, so remember to put that on our old business, I guess. Okay. Does commissioners have anything else?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. On to salary ordinance confirmation summaries and updated job descriptions.
So in your packet, we have your normal kind of batch of confirmation summaries. The bulk of them are from our changes we voted on in January when we restructured the Pole EMS and Pole civilian job categories. And then the probation parts are in there. And just the regular employee changes. So we do need action on each of those separately. Confirmation summaries for signature from the president and adopting the job descriptions. There was one modification on the probation, it was at the part-time. We added the as assigned to the hours because it is part-time, so it's going to be a little fluid, I think, on what days and how many hours. So that was just an enhancement to that job description. I think you did get the final copy of that, and Natasha's okay with that. So we would just want to make sure that's the version we adopt. So.
Motion for the confirmation summaries first.
Yes.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Nick. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Daniel. All those in favor? Motion carried. Okay, on to the updated job description.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Nick,
I'll second.
seconded by Daniel. Any questions?
Where are we?
All those in favor?
Hey, we didn't do that, what?
Motion carried.
Regular employees.
These,
Confirmation.
yeah. I mean, that was what we voted on first. Okay.
The first ones was the confirmation summaries for the adjusted job descriptions.
Okay.
They were all together.
They're all.
Yeah, they're all together.
Yeah, I thought they were.
That's
They're not.
normal, yeah.
Okay. So we're good on that. Okay. On to elected officials and department head comments.
We'll bring you the window thing next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Had a request from the prosecutor's office, and I had left him a couple messages, very short, to bring an additional appropriation with the dollar amount. They did go to the commissioners. And they approved for them to come, but I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming it'll be the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Do you have something, Norm?
I was just gonna say thank you. I think we're moving in the right direction, and if we work together, we'll get a lot more done than, we're fighting all the time, so I appreciate that. You know, we're looking out for what we look out for, you guys look out for what you look out, that's what we should be doing. But we can do that in a cordial manner, and then, the other thing I would say is, you know, hats off to Sam, you know, we've been trying to make connections at the state, we've been trying to make connections at the state, I know Sam has. You know, it can't do anything but help us down the road, if people know who we are.
Right.
And know that we're good stewards of what they're doing, is that's gonna pay dividends down the road. It may be next year, it may be 5 years from now, but I think if we approach everything like that, we're gonna get a lot more done and get a lot more help probably too. So, thank you again, and, I'm looking forward to getting some more of these bigger projects, done, and let's see if we can gain on this road thing a little bit, and, you know, address some more places that we know we've got issues. Thanks.
I want to thank the
Thank you,
commissioners.
Mayor.
That's a wonderful and, surprise. And I commend you for doing all the legwork and making that happen.
Well, I want to thank Sheila, she had a lot to do with it too, of course, we bothered her with everything. And the one thing about the road projects that's coming up, is something that we're really, you know, we're on top of, is the post maintenance. You got pre-maintenance, put the roads in and stuff like that, but there's gotta be post maintenance. You gotta be on a rotation program, roads gotta be took care of, and cleaned and resealed, or whatever the case may be, and that's something that's, you know, we've got in the plan, and with everything comes, like Norm says, that everything comes with a number, comes with a price tag, but, you know, there's nothing we can do, just continue to work together, and make it work out. Spend taxpayer money wisely.
And I feel like we're moving in the right direction.
Leaps and bounds, I think we've come a long way in 14 months. Leaps and bounds. That's all to the council for putting up with me. I know it's not easy. I have no life.
You deserve dinner.
Get better one of these days.
Any other elected officials or department heads? All right, public comment. Any public comment? Oh, where? Diane, you're gonna have to raise your hand a little higher.
I do know Clark Road is very, when I actually live off that, when I leave my driveway in my truck, the warning goes off and something's in front of me because it's really close.
Wow.
Because there was no ditching. Everything from up there is coming down and coming into where we've had it fixed at our place. When we had the big flood back in '07 or '08, actually, I believe it was Merle was part of it that came out, and we lost part of our driveway because of all the flooding coming down and the flooding erupted. And applied the road now, I mean, it's just, it's completely crumbled.
Chad, whenever you guys, now that you know what you're getting on community crossings and which roads, you guys have a way to put a solicitation out for folks that would be interested in taking fill dirt from your ditching? That way, I mean, you can save a lot of money if we're efficient and dump it on that same road.
People in the area doing that, so we don't have to travel.
Yeah.
See, coming for my house, you know.
It adds up fast, having to haul that.
All right, if there's no more public comment, Sheila, do you have something, anything?
I need an employee. I will come to your March meeting. Again, when I originally had asked for another full-time position, you guys had said yes. The debate started with an HR person, We thought we were gonna have an HR person appointed by the commissioners that was here. We traded for the mapping. I still need that position. I'm farther and farther behind every day, and Lindsay needs the help as far as that goes. We're gonna be transitioning with all the new legislative rules coming and going. I also have an employee as a candidate that I might be losing in the fall, so I want to be able to try and get somebody in there that I can get trained between now and then. And I just feel that I still need that employee, and I did not get the HR position that we were originally was promised to help do the, so.
I know there's a Zoom meeting, correct, about the HR, or was that?
We have a Zoom meeting this week on some of they'll do the first 3 chapters of the policy handbook.
And they're doing that first, and then they'll.
And then, yes.
Okay.
And if we have questions on HR issues, we just email Patty and she'll get back with us. We've had a couple we've had to take on to the attorney for recommendations from, but that's all we have is HR right now. And I personally don't feel that's acceptable. We do not have that in-house person, someone that they can go to. But I think once we fix the policies that everybody has agreed is desperately needed fixed, that'll take care of a lot of the HR issues and might lessen that workload as well. And the legislative conference?
Yes, that's what I was gonna come up with, the council comments. We, Anton and I and Sheila and Diane and, Ryan,
Norm and
okay,
Ryan.
there we go. It was, and Norm, it was a really informative, legislative conference that we went to last Tuesday and Wednesday. And there's a multitude of things going on. Even though this was a short session, they have just been ramming through a bunch of stuff. So we really need to keep on top of everything. There's a lot of bills coming across they've switched houses now, and a lot of bills that are going to affect us. And so we need to keep on top of it. We need to keep in contact with our legislators and our senators and our representatives. So, Anton, you want to throw your...
It's just, yeah, it is very fast, like you said.
Just make your head spin.
Not only is it a short session, but they moved their timeline up about a week. They want to finish a week earlier than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So the bills have already passed over from the Senate to the House and the House to the Senate. That happened like a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's left, it's down to the final stretch. And for better or worse, a lot happens in the final few days, actually, before the bills pass completely out of the 2 different houses. They have what's called a conference committee, where a lot of wheeling and dealing happens behind closed doors, and a lot of strange things can happen. Things that you thought had gone away or died
Right.
reappear.
The act or whatever.
So that's something that the Association of Counties watches very closely. I know there's a lot of negotiation going on right now on the local income tax restructuring and some changes to that. The changes to the changes that haven't even occurred, so it's a lot of moving parts. I would just encourage everybody to keep an eye on the legislation. Go to iga.in.gov and follow any bill. Read the language, look at who's on the committees, how are they voting, what are they talking about. A lot of it affects county government. And you need to be on top of that and provide your input where you can.
Where is the restructuring of the lit, where is that at right now?
There, it's being discussed in Senate committee now. it was merged into what they call the DLGF bill,
Which they've kind of been the catch-all.
which is a catch-all bill that a lot of different parts get thrown in there, and so there are some adjustments. I just got some texts, I haven't even been able to read them on some meetings going on tomorrow. So bottom line is counties want to maintain their flexibility in what we set for our local income tax rate and what we can use that on. We don't want that taken away. We don't want that restricted. We want to be able to manage that appropriately. But there has been discussion from municipalities wanting to take that away from counties, for example, which is concerning. So there's a lot of discussion about that.
Which is an integral part of us being able to even afford the new jail at all. So,
And I think either way, there's going to be a delay of a year before the new lit is even going to take place. And we were kind of counting on that
Yeah.
as part of the jail financing plan. So there may be a delay there. One thing I wanted to mention, I forgot on 911, and she's gone, but I think it's okay, but I think it's probably wise to bring this up. If you remember, we approved the restructure already for 911 positions. That included some training positions, there were 2 shift supervisor positions, et cetera. She decided to couple the IDACs. There's 2 different IDACs duty-related positions. She ended up overlapping or coupling those, one of them being with a trainer and the other being with a supervisor. So in looking through the rate structure and trying to figure out how to do that, the way we kind of came up with tackling that is, since the IDACs was already an additional 48 cents under the old system for an add-on to a regular dispatcher, I think since the job description requires someone in those supervisory roles to be a senior dispatcher, I think the difference between a senior dispatcher and the original IDACs, that should be what's added, which is like 78.5 cents. So unless there's an objection to that, that'll be on your next confirmation summaries. There won't be an IDACs coordinator. It'll be an IDACs coordinator and day shift supervisor. It's just one position. So they're going to have extra duties besides just being the supervisor that take on IDACs. And I think that there needs to be some kind of differential that accounts for that. And we came up with 78.5 cents based on the difference between a senior dispatcher and the original standalone IDACs position.
Okay.
Is there any objection to that?
I can't think of
Okay.
any.
Also, good news, the cost estimate that we had figured originally on doing all these changes is a little under our cost estimate, maybe a couple $1,000s less in
Good.
cost. So probably due to the coupling of the positions. So that's good. We're no surprises on cost. But okay, so we're going to just run with that, and then at the next meeting it'll be confirmed.
Okay.
So
All right.
thank you.
I want to personally thank Sam for getting on that, what we asked. I really appreciate that, because that'll satisfy a lot of people. You wouldn't believe they want to know what's going on about the road situation. I really appreciate that. So keep up the good work that way.
Yeah, thanks to the other 2 commissioners too, Chad and Denise, for all their hard work helping out with it, and Sheila. Appreciate it.
I would also like to add to everybody, keep Bill and Darlene Patel
Yes.
in your prayers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, sorry.
For those who hadn't heard, their home burned Saturday night, and they've lost pretty much everything, so just keep them in your prayers.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I'll remain in
Okay, there you go, Nick. Motion to adjourn then.